So you have created an app, you want the world to use it. So the question is it just Google Play Store or is there more to it? So Android is very flexible when it comes to app distribution. It's the complete opposite of Apple. Apple is very closed. The only way to distribute an Apple app is through their app store. Even if you want your friend to have it, you have to go through, and you don't want to publish it on the app store. You have to do, it's a very complicated process, which many of you will learn when you have to submit your apps now for the evaluations, etc., maybe in other courses. So in Android, let's look at the different option. Publish your app, right? So you prepare your app. What happens is, one option is what they call an app marketplace, which is what the Google Play Store is. It is an app marketplace. But did you know that Amazon has its own app store for Android apps? If you have an Amazon App Store app on your phone, you can access download apps through that. So there are multiple marketplaces like that. So you could submit to any of those marketplaces. If you are submitting to Google Play, you have to do things like take screenshots, talk about what the title, what the description, and the details. Anything you see when you try to install an app, all those things you have to do for your own app. You have to, every time you release an app, you have to manage the release process through this app Gradle file. You see, you have your app has a version code and a version name. Version name is a text string. You can call it 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.2, A, B, C, D, whatever you want. Version code is a number, and this needs to increase. Every time you submit an app, it must have a version code greater than the app you have submitted before. Does not have to be sequential. You may internally have releases for beta testing, alpha testing, all of that, but it needs to be sequentially increasing. This is another important thing. You can release your app through a website. You have a website, you want your users to start downloading and working with your app. You don't care about them downloading it from Google Play Store. You can just put it on your website. What you do is you create a release ready APK file and make it available for downloading. When you do that, or when you are using an app store that is not Google's, your users need to opt in for unknown sources, which is fairly straightforward. Most users, they'll be prompted right on the spot. These are the different options you have for publishing. So, yes, I have talked about all of these. Google Play Store. How do you get on the Google Play Store? It's the most popular marketplace, app marketplace for Android devices. You need a Play Store developer account, which costs a one-time fee of 25 US dollars. Apple charges you 100 US per year. Android is little more economical, much more economical, in fact, one time 25 bucks. And you can submit as many apps, etc. The other thing you need to know about a bit about is the review process. So when you submit to the Google Play Store, all apps must meet their terms and conditions. So if you make an app that say, does not, that violates some policy of theirs, it discloses private information about people, or it's meant to harass somebody, all those things, those will be rejected outright. And they do have a manual review process. So when you submit an app, somebody is actually going to look at it, make sure that all the buttons do what they need to do, or at least don't crash the app. So they will do that. And anytime you submit an update, same process is repeated, the manual review. So how can we see this in action? And you asked at the beginning of the class, Shahrukh, can we use the university account? I don't know if there is a university account for the Google Play Store that Georgian College has. I know about the Apple University account. So I did not, because not everybody may have a developer account, not everybody may want a developer account and spend that $25. So the next best thing we can do is watch a video tutorial. It's a very nice tutorial, this one that I'm going to give you the link to. And it's fairly recent, so App Store processes have changed over the years. From time to time, they keep modifying things. So this one is fairly recent. So if you watch it, you will get a more or less latest picture of what the entire process is like. This video is only 10 minutes. So I have pasted the link. Please copy it. If you're going to watch it later, you can, keep it somewhere else, keep the tab open, whatever you want to do. Because I'm going to let you guys go at this point. We're almost at the end of the class, plus 10 minutes of video that you can watch now. Before we do that, are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Mhm.
So in Robert's class, he mentioned that he wants our app to be able to run on his devices.
Mhm.
And on Android, like we can just send the APK, that makes sense, but I don't know how it's gonna work for iOS. I don't think he has like Xcode installed or something. And same like I'm not sure like what is it because he said he's gonna talk to you and Steve to figure out what would be the best way, but I wanted to ask you if you have come up with something that will allow us to
Yeah.
distribute the
So
app.
we have some options, Shahrukh, and we are going to have a meeting today later. And it's possible. It's definitely doable. So we will let you guys know how you are going to submit the iOS apps to Rob.
Yeah, because I think he was expecting us to publish the app, but I told him that we won't be able to publish even if it was like I wouldn't have time to publish the app like properly and have all the content ready
Yeah,
and like just publishing it, I don't you cannot publish using Apple University. I mean
yes.
that's for sure.
So don't worry about it. We'll find a way for you to get your apps to him.
Okay. I
Yeah.
also have like uh a question about state management. So we're using this shared preference, like usually shared preference and these things are used to use for keys. But do you know what would be the equivalent of environment object in Swift, the one we use in Android, something like that, where I have multiple screens that I need to pass have like some variable and I need to keep updating it. And anytime I go to the last screen, so because think about like an e-commerce website. So I'm adding multiple stuff, all the configuration and the price keeps updating at the very end. I can either check out or close everything.
Okay.
But I was able to do that using environment object in Swift, but I don't know how it's gonna work in Android. I'm
So
trying.
it is a piece of information that you can store in a common place, like shared preferences, may be a good idea. You just need to track that information, right?
Yeah, but
Environment
with
object,
preferences, I will need to, yeah, in every screen, I will need to, whenever I save it, I will need to save it and then retrieve it, right? That's how
yes,
it's
so
going
you
to
will have to implement it in whenever the screen comes, into view or goes out of view. Those methods are available to you.
work.
So,
Okay.
in an activity, there is on create, on resume, on destroy, all of that. So using those, you can manage that.
Yeah. So yeah, because in Swift, like using states or these objects, that your view loads automatically, so everything it stays up to date. In Android, because I'm just starting Android, I'm gonna start this week, so I'm gonna do some research as well. But I wanted to just ask you if you know what would be
Hmm.
the best way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. You could use shared preferences. You could use a static object, and as long as you track it. So
Okay.
yeah, try something and let me know if you have any questions about it.
Not sure.
Anybody else? Any questions before we end the class? Okay, good. So I encourage you, I actually not encourage, I think you should watch that video about the Play Store. So at least you are familiar with the process. All right. So see you next week.